Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today's video is, it's not a thrift haul, because I didn't get these things thrifting, but it is secondhand. So I got all of this on Poshmark, and technically it was free, which is really cool because it's a lot of stuff. They have a contest where when you're like listing, you get entered. So we won 500 one Sunday, and then the next Sunday we won 50. So we had $550 that we could spend on Poshmark. It's like credits. So technically none of it cost us any money, which is really cool, and I wanted to share some things that we got. So we took 150 of the money and got some DVDs, like TV show DVDs, because some of you probably know already, but we've been like collecting them. So I got $6 Million Man, which I have watched episodes of this before, but I've never watched like the entire series. So I believe that there was a spinoff called The Bionic Woman. I think that's where that came from, but I'm not 100% on that. And then I found the first season of Wonder Woman, which I was excited about. I actually got all of these from the same seller, so I only had we only had to pay one shipping cost. And so yeah, we took 150 and bought all of these DVDs with it, and then we each took 200 to buy like whatever we wanted to. So I was very excited. I believe, I'm like 99% sure, this is the last season of Seinfeld that we needed. These ones are a little bit confusing because they're volumes and then it's seasons and they're not the same number. So I'm hoping that I have that right, but I'm pretty sure that this is the very last season we needed. So I'm very excited. I've never actually watched Seinfeld like from start to finish, like in the streaming era. So hopefully gonna do that sometime soon. And then I found the same seller. She had 4 seasons of Frasier that we needed, and I think that we might have all the Frasier seasons now, or maybe we're just missing like 1 or 2. I haven't like actually put them away yet. Frasier is one of my all-time favorite sitcoms, and that's another one I've never watched from start to finish either. Like I've probably seen every episode, just like with Seinfeld, but I watched it like when it was on TV. So yeah, I've never like kind of streamed it, but right now we're watching Cheers, so I want to watch Cheers and then watch Frasier. But I also got the season 5 and 6 of Lost, which we had seasons 1 to 4. We actually just rewatched that fairly recently, so probably be a little while. And then I found a season of Brothers and Sisters. I watched this first season when it was on TV, and I really liked it, but I never watched after that. So I found a couple other seasons of the show previously at thrift stores, so I figured I would get that. I think I might wait until I find them all before I start watching it. And then I got 3 seasons of a show called Parenthood, which I did watch the first season of this when it was on TV, but that was a long time ago, but I remember enjoying it. So I saw that they had 3 seasons, and I think I might already have 1 season of it as well. So I've been wanting to watch it, but yeah, I guess it might have even been like as far back as 2010. I don't know, so it might be like 15 years old, but I liked it. And so that's all the TV shows we got, but that's quite a bit for only $150. A few of you have said that you started collecting TV shows too, and I think that's really cool. So I would say Poshmark is a good place to find them. So then I shared photos of this on my community tab a couple weeks ago, but I got a 1973 Sears catalog, which I'm so excited about. Vintage catalogs are one of my favorite things. I have a couple from the 80s and one from the 60s, and I just love looking at them so much. I feel like they give like the most accurate depiction, I guess, of the times, like more so than like, well, especially social media. But I just love looking at it. I had to flip back to this page because all this fabric, I love it. But I'm really into like home decor and design and stuff, but I'm really into like a more realistic, or what I call realistic, version of that. And I find catalogs give you that versus like social media gives you a very stylized, not necessarily accurate version of that. Like everything in the 1950s was not pastel, but if you looked on social media, that's what it would have you believe. And then I got a cookbook that I've been wanting for a very long time. I've never seen it in a thrift store, but it's the Betty Crocker. It's the new, but the picture cookbook. I love this so much. This is from the 60s. I love the Betty Crocker like binder style cookbooks. But yeah, I've been wanting this one for a long time. And so that's what I started to look for with my $200 worth of credits. I just thought, well, let me look for vintage cookbooks because mostly I feel like Poshmark is known for selling clothing, but I don't really feel like I need to buy clothing online because we are out shopping for clothing all the time, like to resell. So I see things I want all the time. So I was very happy I saw that one. And then I think this might have been the first one I found, the Cake and Frosting Cookbook, which I've been wanting this one for a long time as well. And it had, it's such a cute cookbook. I just love it so much. But it had a whole bunch of papers inside of it. I love when stuff like this happens, when I find secondhand cookbooks. I love when there's like writing on the inside too, like maybe it's, to whoever, from whoever. I don't know. I love that kind of stuff so much. So love all of the illustrations in the early like 50s and 60s Betty Crocker cookbooks or Better Homes and Gardens. They're so cute. I always thought that this one was a spiral book though until I got it. But yeah, it had a whole bunch of like papers, like cutouts with like recipes and different things on it, which I thought was so cool. I haven't had like a deep dive look at them, but I thought this was really interesting, this headline here, just because of the whole like right now, the whole like Ozempic craze right now. It was very interesting to see that. Anyway, I think I just give kind of a brief overview of some of these. I just think it's interesting, and I thought maybe you guys might find it interesting too. But yeah, it was, so I started looking for vintage cookbooks, and there was unfortunately a couple of them that I really wanted, but the sellers just never responded. So sometimes I think people might list things and then they like forget about it and don't check their Poshmark maybe. I don't know. So that was very unfortunate. But one of them was the Better Homes and Gardens canning book, or home canning book. I've been wanting that one forever, and I've never seen it. But it was on there. The person just never responded, so I just gave up after a while. But I'm happy that I found the two Betty Crocker books for sure, and the catalog as well. They actually, after I looked through cookbooks, I started looking for catalogs. But like I really, really want a Sears Wish book, specifically like from the 80s when I was a kid. But they're all like really expensive for the Wish books. So I think that 1973 catalog I got was around 20 or maybe 25, which isn't bad because the Wish book ones were all pretty much over $100, and just you have to pay shipping too. I thought this was so cool. It's like a Dream Whip envelope with like a recipe on it. I'm not sure how old this stuff is, but I don't know, it definitely looked like it could be maybe a few decades old. I thought this was interesting too because there was a lot of Easter recipes in there, and this actually came in the mail like right before Easter. So I was like, this is so odd that there's so many Easter things, especially this. This is like so just vintage. This big Jello egg, just ugh. I don't like Jello. I hate the texture of it. So anytime I see stuff like this, it's so gross to me, but it's also very vintage. So then, not in the cookbook genre, but I did get this Better Homes and Gardens vintage flower arranging book, which I was very excited to get. I have this dream that I'm gonna become like a good gardener and grow all these flowers and be able to just go outside in my garden and pick flowers and bring them inside. I don't know. I want that to be my life, but I don't really know how to garden, and I feel very discouraged every time I try. Although quite a few of you have encouraged me to give it a try again. So I think I'm going to give it a try again this year. But I don't know how much I'll share about that because it makes me feel like insecure because I don't know what I'm doing. But speaking of gardening, I thought I'd get this book. This is from the 70s, The Better Homes and Gardens Complete Guide to Gardening. I figured this could help me out. I actually have a lot of these type of books that I was thinking maybe I should film like a little collection video because I have a lot of vintage books that are not cookbooks, but like maybe crafting or gardening or all of that. I've never shown them all together, but anyway, this was everything I got with all of my Poshmark credits, which was very amazing. John's actually had a lot of luck with that. He's won the 500 I think 2 other times, and he's won 50 a bunch of times too, so it's kind of cool. It's like free money. But anyway, I thought you would like to see some of the stuff that I bought. I haven't been thrifting for a while, and I don't plan on going for at least a couple more weeks, but when I do go again, I will film it. So probably in May, there will be more like thrift with me videos, but for right now, there won't be any for a while because I'm not thrifting. So I thought I could maybe film some collections that I have that I've never shown before. Maybe you guys might enjoy that instead of just always vlogs. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a good day, and I hope you enjoyed seeing this, and I will see you again soon.